Casey, welcome aboard. Welcome back to Melbourne. What do you? The minister says he likes seeing a bit of rain coming out of the sky, except on weekends like this. What do you do when you drive into town and you see the rain coming down, and knowing you're going down to Phillip Island?
It's definitely not the best feeling in the world. Phillip Island being such a fast track, it's quite a scary track in the drive, but in the wet it's a whole new level. So going down the main straight and you've got the rear wheels spinning up and you're still trying to stop the thing going into turn one at over 300, it's a little bit scary, but we all have to do it. We all have to get out there, and it ends up being all right once you're out there, but it's just the thought of it and the prospect going out there, it's a little bit daunting.
How much of an advantage is it having a home track in those conditions? Do you try and psych out the other riders and just say, well, this is standard procedure for me, good luck for you, you won't know what's happening out there?
Well, considering everybody out there has ridden this track more than me,
yeah, but it doesn't matter, you still psych them out, no?
I wouldn't say there's any home track advantage whatsoever. I never got the chance to race at this track before my first year in Grand Prix, and it's pretty much been catch up until I got to the MotoGP class, and then we just seemed to get along with the track a little bit more with all that power. So I'd like to think there is a home track advantage. I seem to pull something out of the bag here every year, but yeah, there's definitely nothing there. I just enjoy the track. I think it's a lot of fun, and I love any circuit that gives me an adrenaline rush, and this is one of the few that really does.
Well, Andrew Fox is here. We might put some speed humps in if you like, just to slow things down a bit for you, Casey. Hey, the last 3 years, as you said, it may not exactly be your home ground, other than the fact that it's your home country, but you've made it your home the last 3 years.
Yeah, definitely. They came unexpectedly as well. I mean, they came from very tough weekends, but the races have always gone so well, and especially last year, we came from having 3 races off and a very, very difficult season. We came into the race before with a good result, so we thought, we might be up for a decent result here, but definitely not to go out and win the race, and that was the icing on the cake after a very difficult year for us. So enjoyed that one a lot, and this year again has been pretty tough for us. This last bit of the season we've definitely hit form. Had a few too many DNFs this year, but going into this race I'm really looking forward to it. I think the bike's working well. We've got everything working and coming together right at the perfect time to come here.
We see on the screens some highlights from the races, and you see the IVECO signs, you see so much greenery, you see the beautiful sea, the landscape. How much of that do you take in, if any at all? Or do you do that in the morning before and when you go for a walk and that's it?
That's about it. I mean, if we get a chance to walk around on Wednesday or Thursday, then yeah, you get to see how beautiful the track is. But otherwise, you're pretty much just looking at the black stuff. You don't really want to be looking at the greens.
No, you don't have a good look at that kitty litter, mate. You don't want to see any of that, okay? None of that at all. Tell me about. I mean, it's hard enough at this level when everything's going right. You discovered you had a lactose intolerance, and it wiped you out there for a period, and it's almost become almost the new disease du jour, if you like, with so many people finding out they've got this lactose intolerance. How did it affect you?
Yeah, well, once we found out we're lactose intolerant, we were speaking with our doctor that discovered it for us, and he basically said that there's a huge percentage of the world is actually lactose intolerant to a certain degree, but it'll affect you in a different way than anyone else.
How did it affect you?
Basically, I felt every day very lethargic, a little bit, not a lot of energy. I was training a lot, I was doing everything right, but some reason, I had nothing there. My appetite went down to, a handful of food. I never wanted to eat. The smell of food, I didn't want anything to do with it. I ate because I had to, basically, not because I wanted to. And it just basically came to the point at a hot race last year that it just took everything out of me, and I had nothing left. And from that point on, we were having recovery drinks with milk and everything after the sessions to try and build my energy up, and didn't realise it was just creaming me. So it was a little bit disappointing to take so long to find it.
How did you find out?
Basically, we've taken off gluten and lactose for a period of 3 weeks. We went back onto lactose after 2 weeks to see if there was a reaction. And I got sick at that exact moment. Lost my voice, I was bedridden, I had nothing. So we thought, okay, we can't really class that as a test. I went back on gluten after 3 weeks, no reactions, so we thought, right, neither of these two are it. tried some other things. We couldn't come up with anything else. So basically, a week before going back to the Portuguese Grand Prix, we thought, well, I got sick at the same time as lactose, so I'll go off lactose again and just see what happens. And I went over there, and Thursday started feeling a bit better. Friday started feeling a bit better, and got out there on Saturday and Sunday, didn't have any problems, and we thought we might have cracked this, but we really wanted to be sure. So we did the whole rest of the end of the season without the lactose, didn't have any dramas. Went back on lactose, got sick immediately. So there's definitely something in it. And I said I think I could have, you know, gone around as an everyday person. If I wasn't trying to be an athlete, I wouldn't have felt such a big difference. I would have had a small appetite, but I would have felt fine. It was just the fact that I had to go out there and do something. I'd hit a wall, and there was no way going through it.
What lifestyle changes, obviously dietary, but what's gone out the door that you used to love, and what sacrifices have you had to make along the way with that?
Just about everything.
Fruit?
Milk was pretty much my favourite of anything with milk in it. I absolutely loved it, so it's a big loss, but after a while you get used to it, and you know, you stop craving anything. You know, you go through a patch where all you want to do is, you know, drink milk, eat chocolate, everything. Even if I didn't want it beforehand, you still wanted it. And but the biggest challenge is when we travel to countries where, you know, they don't speak English. You know, Malaysia, Japan, all the other countries that they've got different writing, different languages. Really complex to try and stay away from lactose. And even when you go to a restaurant and, you know, you ask them, you know, make sure there's no lactose in it, comes out and it's obviously got lactose in it. So, you know, you got to put that down the drain and try something else. So it's very difficult trying to stay away from it. And if we do go near it, yeah, then something goes wrong. And
it was just an instant return to energy and things like that for you. It was that quickly.
Yeah, well, it normally takes. We're sort of roughly calculated. It takes about 3 days for it to really sink into me, and then I start feeling really tired. And even I went on antibiotics for a certain stage this year. Actually, ibuprofen just to get rid of a bit of pain in my ribs. And I said to my trainer that, you know, this has got lactose in it. You know, I can feel it 3 days. I started taking it 3 days later, started feeling it. Didn't really want to get up, didn't want to get training. And so he searched the net, searched the web, and found out there was a small lactose content in there. So, you know, my body's that sensitive to it now because I've been off it for so long, that, yeah, when we do go back on it, we get a severe reaction to it.
Casey, IVECO here, sponsoring you personally, also Motorcycle Grand Prix. It's a wonderful combination, the two of you now, isn't it?
Definitely. You know, the partnership was set up, you know, last year, and it was brilliant from that moment on. You know, Giorgio's a great guy, and you know, the support everything he's given to the Grand Prix is fantastic, and also to myself. So, you know, hopefully this partnership can go off for a lot of time in the future, and you know, hopefully we can get another win this weekend.
Well, IVECO, and it's supporting the local economy, as I said. I must admit, Giorgio, I did notice a beautiful colour scheme you've got too with IVECO. Jeez, I reckon, Casey, you and I could really put some turbo behind this thing, you know. To my colleagues from the media, if you'd like to fire any questions at Casey, and of course to my colleagues, including Michael Dodge over there, one of the great photographers, we'll have some opportunities from some photos with Casey in the IVECO trucks as soon as we finish the press conference. But any questions to Tim, to Giorgio, or to Casey?
Casey, talk just now about last year. I'm just wondering, the mindset, obviously you would have had huge expectations on you last year coming to this race, both locally and personally, and you got the win, but how different is it going into this year, into this particular race, with the different health situations and mindset?
Yeah, well, health situation should be pretty similar to what it was last year. You know, we'd already got rid of it, and we're in a good situation, but last year, you know, there's a lot of expectation on me, but not coming from myself, you know. I go out there to do the best job I can every weekend, and in the past I've put a lot of pressure on myself, and maybe too much. But, you know, from now on I know that as long as I go out there and do my best, and if I feel I made a mistake, then, you know, I'm disappointed in myself, but if I feel I did the best race I could, then there's no reason to be disappointed and no reason to feel pressure from anyone. So, best thing I can go out there is do my job Friday, Saturday, see if we can get the bike working for Sunday, feel confident, and go out there and give it 100%. You know, that's all I can do, and, you know, if we can bring home another win, then that's fantastic. If not, then, you know, it's... you know, sort of the way this season's gone for us, and you know, it's been a difficult one, but you know, I'm still looking forward to just riding on this track in general. Yes and no. It's nice when I've got plenty of time between sessions and things like that to get ready, and I can just think about racing on the weekend. But this weekend, unfortunately, is extremely busy for me, so it normally ends up just stressful between the sessions, and then finally get out on the bike, and I feel a little bit tired before each session. But in general, you know, it's nice once we get out there.
Casey, what's the different changes in tactics we have to make, say the rain keeps pouring down on the weekend?
Well, the best thing is if it rains over the weekend, it's going to be a wet race. You know, we've got time to set the bike up, make sure everything's there, feel where the slippery patches are, and steer clear of them. Difficult thing is, like in Sepang last year, you know, it was dry all weekend, and then all of a sudden it rained for the race. You know, you got no idea what the tyres are going to feel like. You've got to go out there and give it a go. So it can be a little scary going into a race like that, but by the look of it, we're going to get at least a wet session before the race. So that'll give us a bit more of an understanding, and we can really work hard to set the bike up in those sessions.
Casey, the change at the end of the season, changing to a different team. Can you take us through your reasons for that, and how much would it mean to finish your time at Ducati with a win this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you know, finishing with a win with Ducati is not something I'm going to be putting more effort in. You know, we've been putting in the effort all year. You know, there's not been any stage of this season that, you know, we haven't been given 120% just to try and you know, win every race this year. But it's been definitely a difficult season, and you know, I suppose I'd love to end strongly with Ducati, but at the same time, if I can't put any more effort in, then you know, we can't get any more out of it. As for the reasons for changing, you know, it's new horizons. We felt that you know, we'd reached our limits here, and you know, there was some personal reasons as well for leaving, but for me, it was just you know, the prospect of riding for such a huge manufacturer of like Honda, and something I've dreamt about. You know, my heroes rode for Honda, and you know, it's a fantastic chance to get up with a manufacturer like that and see what we can really do. And you know, it's just a new adventure for us. You know, it's something really different, and you know, after 4 years with Ducati, we've had a great relationship, but you know, for me, it was just time to move on.